Hey everyone, and welcome to the Beyond Life and Fitness podcast. I'm Cheryl Patton.
And I'm Megan Prince.
We started this podcast as a way to connect with more people who are struggling to fit it all in. The workouts, the food, kids, work, and relationships.
We know that we're not perfect, but we hope that through our struggles and our mistakes and our failures and our successes that we can help more people through their challenges and be successful. So if you want some tips and tricks to help you along your journey to be the best version of yourself, then this is it.
All right, so today we thought we would chat about 3 myths that tend to hold women back when it comes to getting strong in the gym. And so I find when we see women in the gym that there are 2 kinds of women. One's those that really embrace getting strong. Mm-hmm. And then those that are just like, I don't want to get bulky. And so I'm just going to stick with these little 5, 8, 10 pound weights. And I'll just keep doing 20, 30, 40, 50 reps. Mm-hmm. So we thought that we would just do a quick little chat on 3 myths that, again, we need to dispel and just start putting more of the focus on getting strong and not be so focused on being the thinnest version of ourselves, because that's not the best version. It's not the vision that a lot of women, I think, have pictured in their mind. Like when you look at athletic, strong women, they're not super tiny.
No, and most of them weigh a lot, right? If you ask them how much they weigh, it's way more than you think it is, right? It's not this, athletes. I think there was like an article a long time ago about athletes and what athletic bodies actually look like, right? Mm-hmm. And they're not those fitness models on those fitness magazines that we diet down for, get tanned for, get abs, like kind of shadowed in on. That's not what a real athlete looks like, because a real athlete, like I just taught a nutrition class to athletes today, a real athlete is one that actually can perform, which means you have to eat. Mm-hmm. Being in a deficit all the time is not going to be at your optimal performance. How are you going to do that, right? Like it's not even a possibility to come in with full 6-pack abs. And then, I mean, we see the girls on Instagram and all that kind of stuff all the time, but like, how do we see them changing? Do we see them like through the years, their bodies changing? You can't always, I mean, there's going to be those people that are going to be like genetically gifted that they can just kind of eat whatever. They have 6-pack abs, that kind of stuff.
They're just able to maintain a lower percentage of body fat easier than the average person. But even if you look back to athletes that are in the Olympics, so these are high level performing athletes. Mm-hmm. Look at the range of body types that there are. Mm-hmm. Like when you look at a power lifter body type to a more, let's say, like beach volleyball, like even though like they're both high performing athletes, like they're strong for their sport and they have fueled their bodies appropriately for that sport, right? Swimming, skating, like name whatever sport it is that you want. But, and as you said, like when you look at cover models and, people that do physique competitions, which, we both have fun and dabble in, when you see those athletes on stage, that is not health.
No.
Like that is not health. We have taken it to an extreme measure and you have to then learn how to dig yourself back out of that negative hole. But anyways, getting back to some of some of the myths is that, a lot of women are afraid to lift heavy because they're afraid that they're going to get huge and bulky and look like the next pro bodybuilder walking around their town. So, we don't naturally have enough testosterone in our systems, to make that happen naturally. Right. And so, I think we need to really start encouraging women, girls, teenagers to really start lifting heavy so that you can get strong You can have a metabolism that's on fire.
Mm-hmm.
You can eat more food. And who doesn't want to be able to eat more food and not feel guilty about it and have your body utilize all those calories to keep you getting stronger?
Yeah, the more muscle you have, right, the more calories your body needs every day. So it's going to eat those calories the more you build, right?
Yeah.
But I think when women are coming into the gym and thinking like lifting weights, that's not a caloric burn per se. 100% it is. It takes time to build that.
But I'm out of breath when I do those heavy deadlifts.
Oh God, I couldn't even breathe today. I was like, I was like dying today, and it was my heart rate's up to like 150,
right?
Which I can't get when I'm doing cardio unless I'm sprinting,
right?
So you're not going to get it up that high,
no.
But yeah, the getting bulky stuff, and also we know that most women undereat on protein, which you need to have a sufficient amount of protein to build that much muscle to be able to build like a really significant bulky body. So
I think too, like when women feel that they're getting bulky, I think it's because yes, you're starting to lift heavy, which is great, but I think, as you said, your macros are not matching what you're trying to accomplish. So usually your carbohydrates are way too high in comparison to where your protein needs to be. And at the same time, too, as you get stronger and you build muscle takes up less space than body fat does. So you may notice that, yes, the scale may be going up, but you should start looking leaner.
Different.
Leaner. And so your clothes are going to start fitting differently. I find, too, as you get stronger, your confidence naturally starts to go up in all areas of life because you just feel like this more sense of mental like empowerment. The things that you can accomplish.
100%. Yeah.
So, other than, lifting heavy is going to make you bulky, the second myth is that cardio is better for fat loss.
Yeah. And I think that we've said that a million times. There's a place where cardio can come in, right? But that should not be you shouldn't really be using cardio for fat loss, right?
It's not your primary driver.
It's not your primary driver because that's only going to happen, burn calories when you're doing it.
Correct.
And then you want to just do it all the time. And then like we talked about today, your body gets adapted to it. So then people that you see doing the step mill for an hour a day, what are they going to do next when they hit that plateau? They have nothing to add. They have nowhere to go. And clients come to me and they're already doing cardio every day and eating in a deficit. There's nowhere to go because I can't add anything else in unless you're going to the gym 3 times a day to like add in that extra, and then your adrenal glands are going to be shot at the end of that, right? So I think when it comes down to it, like cardio for sure is not walking. Fantastic. Great for your mental health.
Totally. I have no problems with walking for sure. But yes, strength training is what's going to preserve your muscle during a fat loss phase. Cardio signals, especially this whole like 1 hour in a step mill, signals your body to pare muscle down, right? And that's not what we want. So you want to use nutrition. You want to use your food as your primary driver in a caloric deficit to maintain your muscle mass and start to reducing your body fat. And you just keep your cardio as minimal as you can. The least effective, the least effective dose is what you want. The least effective. I'm getting my terminology wrong, but that's okay.
Less cardio with still seeing benefits, like the least that you could possibly do for that. Why would you eat 1,000 calories and lose weight when you can eat 1,500 calories and lose weight?
Oh, yeah.
Like why would you go into that, right? So I think when we're talking about cardio, that's always been like the myth of like, that's going to do it. But actually cardio, like you said, if you're not eating enough, and especially not enough protein, cardio is going to eat your muscle.
Yeah.
It's going to do the opposite of what you actually want to do, especially if you're doing it for long periods of time.
Yes.
Then it's actually taking your muscle and just eating it.
Yeah.
And then you're like,
yeah.
Then you're set way back from any muscle.
You are.
Like, if anything you could do right now at this age, if you've been lifting for a while or anything, if you've been an athlete, is try to maintain the muscle mass that you have. That would be like the number one. Number two would be, let's build some muscle. But like number one is like, let's maintain what muscle we currently have in our bodies. Because as we get older and we fall and walking and joints, and you lose weight as you get older a lot, right? Some people.
Well, and after the age of 30, we naturally start to lose muscle mass.
Yeah.
So that's why as we get older, maintaining that proper protein intake becomes way more important than when we're in our teens and in our 20s.
Yeah.
So
cardio definitely is like not, cardio would be that thing that you would add if you hit a plateau, add if you really feel like it helps with your mental health, like you feel like it's something that really gets you less stressed.
Yeah.
But that's only if you're eating enough.
Yes. Make sure all the other boxes are checked.
Because I remember I would do 45 minutes on the step mill twice a day and do my weights in the afternoon, really super low carbs. I lost my menstrual cycle for 3 years. And I thought, oh, this is great. This is awesome, losing a cycle. Meanwhile, little do you know all the side effects from not having your cycle, like bone density, right? Yeah. So I think, you just have to be super careful on how you're using cardio in your programming, and it should not be the number one.
Yeah, exactly. And then the third myth is that you're too old to start. Too old to get strong. You're too old to add muscle to your muscle frame, which can be the furthest thing from the truth. So there are, I know there are definitely studies out there. I could not cite you one right now, but that show that, people in their 60s, 70s, and 80s, if they just start lifting weights, they can add muscle to their bodies. Which is only going to just help make them a more resilient human, independent longer, less risk of falling, less risk of getting sick or injured. Like it's never too late to start. The point is that you just make that choice and you make that decision to improve.
And I think the best part about being, if you hadn't been working out for a long time, like you're just kind of a newbie.
Oh, newbie gains.
Yeah. So then you get to see all those gains in the first year or two. Huge. So if it's like something you've never done in your life before, it's not too old. You're never too old to start ever, because now you're going to get all these things. Like you and me will be 70 and we're still going to have to push heavy weights. We're still going to be like doing all this stuff because we've been doing it for so long. Our body's now adapted. Yeah. So we have to change our training. We have to change our reps. We have to change things. And you can't just keep going and doing the same thing every day and then just expecting. I mean, that would maybe maintain muscle, but I don't know if after 30, how much muscle does go down every single year. You definitely have to make sure that you're not only maintaining, but maybe also trying to just like build a little bit of muscle 100%. Every year.
I think you want to always have that thought in the back of your mind. And I know this is something that I definitely encourage all the clients that I work with, especially like in the group, in my group settings, is that slow it down and try and go heavier. Just slow it down. Try to lift a little bit more. Don't worry about how many reps you do.
And have fun slowing it down and trying to lift more, because you can't. You actually usually have to drop. Weights if you're slowing down your tempo. Right?
Yeah, like slow it down so that you can just maintain your good form. But and don't get caught up that you have to hit 8 reps, 10 reps, 12 reps, or whatever the number is. Because whenever you make that weight jump, say from like 20 pounds to 25 pounds, depending on the muscle group, that can seem like a lot. So,
that's a lot,
you may only get out 5 or 6 reps, and that's okay. And then you're getting stronger when you can start lifting that weight a little bit more and a little bit more.
Yeah.
Right. And then it just kind of fuels that momentum and that whole mentality of just, I'm getting stronger. I'm getting stronger. I'm getting stronger. And I think it's awesome.
And I think, in regards to like not being too old to start, also as our kids get older and they move out of the house, people have more time.
Yeah.
You have more time than you ever had in your life before. So there's no too old to start.
No.
Ever. I think that you can always change at whatever place you are at in your life if you're willing to dedicate time and be intentional about it.
Yeah. And again, like if you don't know where to start, that's why or when you would reach out to a coach, even if it's just to get the ball rolling and just to learn how to make this work for you and your lifestyle. That's why we exist. Yeah. So anyways, don't let the myths of heavy weights are going to make you bulky, cardio is better for fat loss, and that you're too old to start hold you back from getting strong. Thanks everybody for listening today, and we truly appreciate you. And let us know what your biggest takeaway was today, and if you have any questions you want answered on the podcast. Don't forget to rate, review, and subscribe to this podcast to automatically receive your episodes and to help us reach more listeners. We would love to connect with you on our socials, either Facebook or Instagram, with links in the show notes. Till next time, keep taking those small steps towards your best life.